Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Let us start this lecture with a thought process. We have already spoiled the water and air in the name of development, which are the lifeline of all creature in this world. In the last lecture, we basically discussed about the water crisis not only in the world, but also from the context of India. And we looked at some of the things what our scriptures is talking about. I gave a historical perspective, and of course, we will be looking at now dwelling upon about the wells and other water bodies. So, if you look at Kupa is a well, its size varies from 5 to 50 cubit. Of course, I have already told you earlier that 1 cubit is 45 centimeter, and this will be in diameter or width, because the well can be of a circular shape, or it can be also square or rectangular also. It is generally having no flight of steps to reach the water, that is basically known as Kupa. Bhapi means is a step well. It is a large well with steps for to number of steps should be there to reach the water level. Its size varies from 40 to 100 cubits. As I told earlier, its shape can be square, rectangular or circular. It is built to depth of 10 cubit below the spring as per the Vishwakarma Vastu Shastra. Of course, there are several Vastu Shastras, and you may find these numbers will be different. The Bhapi is equal to 10 Kupas in merit according to Matsya Purana. As I told that people were having belief that if you will go and dig the well or the put your money and do for public, you will get lot of blessings, and therefore, if you could manage to dig a Bhapi, that means you will get more spiritual power or maybe blessings as compared to the simple well. Bathing ghats are provided in the Bhapi sometime, and only one side water lifting machine can be placed. There was also water lifting, of course, at that time that will be maybe lever systems which will be useful, or maybe water wheel might be there at that time. Puskarini is basically a pond. Its size varies from 100 to 200 cubits in diameter and length. Generally, Puskarini is not that circular. I have not seen. Generally, it is a rectangular in shape. And Tadaga is a big water tank. Its size varies from 200 to 1000 cubits in diameter and length. And if you look at wells discovered Mohenjo-daro and Harappan were the finest example from the point of structural details. And if you recall that almost all houses had well for domestic use. Beside this, public wells were also found in during Indus Valley civilization excavation areas. Keep in mind that generally the shapes of well are circular in nature, but if it is a big one, generally like Bhapi or maybe some other thing. So, therefore, step wells will be sometimes also rectangular. So, let us look at a typical Harappan circular well. If you look at this figure, that this is your well, right, this is the well, and you look at these are all bricks, and this is bricks are trapezoidal in nature, and which is used to prevent inward collapse. Now, suppose you want to make this kind of well and I want to replicate it, I cannot, because where I will get trapezoidal bricks, who will make for me, right. And at that time, of course, the people were making their own brick kiln. They are having the kiln of their own, they can design, they can do that. Today it is not possible. Of course, when I was a kid, I had gone to a village. I remember that a person was trying to make a house, and he was also, making a kiln for baking the bricks to be used, in his house. The diameters of wells around 3 to 4 feet. As I told earlier, these waste shaped bricks or the trapezoidal bits are molded and burnt properly, and the wider bricks are carefully curved. This curving also is very essential, this portion, to have a smooth surface, and generally mud mortar was used to bind these bricks. And keep in mind that this is in a ground which is what you call pavements of the brick being laid here. These are the bricks, if you look at, these are the bricks pavements, and the well, and which is having a slope. There will be some slope because this is the your drain, right. There is also another drain here, drainage systems, and one corner it will be coming and then maybe passing through this here to this place. And beside this, if you look at the top of the well were projected above the ground, because this is the ground level is projected, so that the waste water will not enter into the well, right. So, if it is well designed, it is not that people have done, this is a well designed kind of things. And if you look at, this is the layout of the Dholavira which we had discussed earlier, and what they were doing, these are the rivulets, and they were having dams, some places here, and they will take this water for this F. If you look at reservoir, and that is also keeping this water, and similarly there is also a dam having in this place, they will be using this water. That means they were having also concern about water, how to preserve it and do that. That is a very important point what we can learn from them. And there is a lot of other lands where the water will be available, they will be storing it by the rain also in the form of tanks, in the form of ponds kind of things. If you look at Dholavira had a unique sophisticated water conservation system of channels. I have already shown you that there is channels, and reservoir built completely of stone, and this is one of the earliest found anywhere in the world. So, if you look at, this is made of stones, these are water reservoir, and there is a, in that water reservoir there is a step well. If you look at, these are the steps, right, and this is the well we are having. That means, if the water will come and it will go and charge also the underground. Are you getting? This is a stone and there is a river, it will go, if any extra water it will go and store. So, you can also use for the storing in the underground, and whenever it is required you can use, and also it will be affecting the greenery around that place. So, this Dholavira eastern reservoir, which is a very big one, it will be containing something 21,170 meter cube. Consider it will be something 2 crore 11 lakh 70,000 liters. It is a very huge amount of water being stored in that, and with a stepped well, as I told, at the bottom. So, this is a part of some other reservoir like Rock Outcrops southern side of water reservoir SR3, which is having 33 into 9 meters, like this length will be 33 and this will be around 9 meters, with a secondary reservoir at the bottom. There is another reservoir here, right, which is a step, and then it will be coming reservoirs, and 15.5 into 5.7 into 2 meters, right, kind of things what people have excavated. Archaeologists could found 3 massive reservoirs, 3 of which were used for storing fresh water brought by the rains, and to store water diverted from 2 nearby rivulets I had discussed. That means, they were using the rainwater for storage, and also they were taking the water from the rivulets or the river, small rivers, to store them. And this clearly indicates that proper management of water harvesting is essential to have a good life even in desert climate condition of Kutch, where several years may pass without any rain fall. So, therefore, several dams were built to collect water and also use it, preserve it. That means, at that time people were having concern, they were having design, they were doing it and properly and using it. Why not today? But we will have to not only preserve, we will have to use also sparingly, that is important. Here I am showing you another underground drainage system. This is the drainage water kind of system there, where you can transport the water, and this is again another opening for the water being transferred. Use a small underground drains connecting several reservoir on the southern side, one can see. That means, it is not the reservoir alone, they will be connected also through that. That means, if one reservoir there, you can take water from another and then use it, right. So, connect, suppose there is a flood one side, what will happen, the other side it is not having, the water will go to the other place and kept and will be stored there. So, that is also one interconnectivity was there during that time also. And if you look at, these are of course excavated, and these are basically terracotta rings for the wells, these are part of the wells. These are the rings what your people are using, of course, this will be on the top, and then this is being dug here, and then you will get the water inside this well. These are the wells. Of course, were dominant in Rupnagar, now people are calling it Ropar, right, in Punjab, dominated, and those are there, in the first millennium BC. This is being, dated by the archaeologists. And beside this, if you look at terracotta rings well at the Mamalapuram in Pallava periods in the like 575 AD to 900 AD, one can also find. So, it is also people have found out the earthen pipes, tunnels, undergrounds to maintain the flow of water beside transporting to the distant places at various places like Burhanpur in MP, Golconda in AP, Bijapur in Karnataka, Aurangabad in Maharashtra, and several other places. I have just mentioned few of them. That means, there was a water harvesting system, and also the tunnels and the undergrounds were there to transport the water from one place to other. That is very clear evidence are available in our country at this moment. Let me talk about Rani Ki Bhab. If you look at Rani Ki Bhab, is basically built around 11th century, a kind of sophisticated step well in Gujarat after the death of the husband of a queen around 11th century, and that is considered as a World Heritage Site by UNESCO, which described it as an exceptional example of technological development in utilizing groundwater resources. And if you look at this is a quite complex structure it is having, like these are the steps, and then it will various steps, and there will be here some various stories kind of things, storied buildings, and then you are having a well here. If you look at it, was not known earlier, because it was buried under several rails of slate for almost 7 centuries, because around 1300 there was a flood in Saraswati river, which closed all those things and put a lot of seals on it. So, only 30 years back people could unravel there is something like that Rani Ki Bhab, and it came to light. Rani Ki Bhab was built in the complex Maru Gurjara architectural style. There is a architecture like in Kalinga, let us say in Odisha there is a Kalinga architecture. In each region is having their own way of architecture. So, with an inverted temple, like temple will be like this, and then it will be other way around, like inverted temple, and which holds more than 500 principal sculptures of high artistic quality, right, it contains. Now, for a well, why they will do that, one question comes to mind, because our mind is utilitarian mind, right. If you look at, I was telling there are several steps are there, these are the steps, and there is also a kind of a sculptures are here, right. It is quite elaborate, and then water of course will be here. and maybe in the rainy seasons water may be filled and people can use even like in above the ground or the no sorry just below the ground they can use. The magnificent structure measures approximately 64 meter long. I think this length will be around maybe 64 meter this length, and this will be 20 meters width and 27 meter deep. This is the well what people had built earlier, and its unique feature is that there is a stepped corridor compartment at regular interval. These are all compartments, right, and which is stepped, and interval of pillars, multi-story pavilions, because this is a 1 story, 2 story, like that it goes. These are all pillars, if you look at. So, I mean, why elaborately one can build this way? One question arises in my mind. And well is located at westernmost end of the property, that as I told in the that is the, and it consists of a shaft of 10 meter in diameter and 30 meter in deep, that water. And this is the well. If you look at this, something around 10 meter in diameter and depth is around 30 meters, right, and lot of sculptures are there in this, and evidence suggests that walls had been built out of brick, okay, but faced with the stone. That means stone was cladded with the brick. How they could have done that? One question, because the stone and this to be joined together. That is the one question coming to my mind, like, and that technology has to be unraveled. From this wall, right, project vertical brackets in pairs, these are the all pairs are there, right, and we supported different galleries of well shaft kind of things properly. The bracketing is arranged in their tiers is richly carved. If you look at, these are carving points. So, these are the, if you look at carved structure you can get in wall, if you go to small region here you will find several of them, various statues, lot of fine works on the stones, and therefore one can say very clearly Rani Ki Bhav as the queen among the step wells of India. Till now such a decorated and intricately designed and sculptured well we have not got, Of course, it is done, but not that extensively. Therefore, that is being considered. There is a small gate below the last step of the step wells was found, leading to a tunnel of 30 kilometers, by which the king might escape whenever a there is a fear to his life due to the invasion or something, and which leads to the town of Sidhpur near Patan. Now, if you think of that tunnel 30 kilometers, how they built it? And now we need to also build similar tunnels if it is kind of things, because lot of our Indian cities are not having sway system where people are living. Now, you want to put a tunnel so that through which you can pass the sway system. How we will do it? And one can learn from that, and keep in mind that now of course, this gate is being closed down because people may misuse it, and that is the marvel of the technology at that time, how people built. And steps well are a distinctive form of subterranean water resource and storage system on Indian subcontinent, and this construction is going on since the Harappan times. It is not that these people have started, they have marveled the things. So, this is our what you call step wells, and wells were there earlier days and still continue, but of course, unfortunately today we are not using it, right. We are just putting a pump and using, because if we use a well, then lot of water will be collected, and also another thing will be there, you will be use water sparingly, because you will have to use your physical labor to get the water from the well. But if you use a pump, it is very easy and you misuse as much as you can. So, therefore, we need to look at, and lot of things we can learn from them for using the water in a frugal manner. Let me talk about another interesting well. This is a swastik shaped well, that is also known as Nalu Mulala Keni in Tamil probably, right. And this well is located at Tiruvallur, 22.5 kilometer away from northeast of Tiruchirappalli in Tamil Nadu, made by Pallava Danti Barman and 799 to 800 AD. And this shape is looking like a, if you look at, this is basically a swastik kind of thing, right. If you look at, this goes this way, right, and similarly the other thing will be like this, right. This is swastik. This is basically also known as Mari Pidugu Perun Kinaru in Tamil, a big temple well. It is a nearby a temple, and its size is around 37 square feet. It might have use for temple and irrigation of Devadana lands, because earlier days the temple were having also certain lands. And these are the steps, if you look at, these are the steps where people can enter here and take bath. I do not know really, and also there is some support system there, how they will bring, maybe water will be coming here and then they will be using, right. As I told, there are 4 entrances here, one is here, one entrance here, another entrance will be somewhere here, another will be here entrance, right, and this side is also one entrance. So, inner face of each portal and the out walls and margins are made of dressed granites. These are granite stones. So, people were having concern and they have used a lot of technology at that time, wherever whichever were there available at that time, and then we are trying to make these things. And if you look at, like there is a lot of water tanks in the temple, and the water from the temple tanks serve the vital purpose of recharging the underground aquifer, reducing the runoff, enhancing the water stagnation time, thus ensuring the sufficient water in the domestic well during the summer months. So, if you look at this is one of the what you call tanks I have shown, which is connected with the one temple in south, and I will be also talking about little bit about temple water tanks in the next lecture. So, here I will stop over, and because temple is a very important part of our culture, and therefore, also the water harvesting you can see there. Thank you very much.